Okay, so this is pretty much your workspace, right? This is the agent workspace. So you guys will each get a login, all right? And as soon as you log into Podio, it's going to look like this, right? And you have 5 different apps here. The Leads app, Appointments app, Listings app, Investment, Deals, SOPs, which is standard operating procedures, and then that's it. So primarily, you're going to be really working mostly out of the leads until you get either a listing or an investment. Then you'll be working out of these apps. But let's open it up and take a look. So essentially, you're going to open this leads app. It's going to look like this, okay? So these are all of our appointments that we have set. All right. So over here on the left, we have our customizable views, which pretty much are saved filters, okay? So we have our overall status view. Essentially, we just use this for new leads. So as soon as a lead is assigned to you, though, right, what we can do is create in each one of your logins, you have team views on the left, and you also have private views, okay? Now, because you're not really concerned with what other people are doing, you're mostly going to be working out of private views, and we can go through how to create that. Whenever we set you guys up, we can go through how to create that, and it's pretty easy. You know, and right here you're going to have my leads and my new leads. So this is really what you want to look for. Anytime you have a new lead, one, it's going to text you guys and say, hey, you have a new lead on Podio, follow up. So the procedure is that our acquisition specialist on our investment side sets an appointment and already has a predetermined date and time. Okay, you guys will be sharing your calendars with us so that we know your schedule as well. But you're simply giving them a call back as soon as possible. Our standard is 30 minutes after the acquisition specialist hangs up the phone. We say that our agent or our licensed professional will be getting back to you, the homeowner, within 30 minutes. So time is of the essence, so always be by your phone. That's why we've created a here in Podio, so it texts you, so you'll get it immediately. So open up your Podio.
That's the script.
And it'll be right here in my new leads, right? So let's just say, for example, let's say this is your new lead right here, right? I just made a random address, so there's a property address here in Arkansas. So if you guys just want to look up on the screen, we'll go over that after. So this is what it looks, your lead item, okay? So you have the property address here. Your Google Maps will pop up immediately. You will be here, right? That's going to be your name. And your overall status is going to be new lead, right? As soon as you get a new lead, it's obviously a new lead. Notes for appointment. This is anything that the acquisition specialist wants you to know about the appointment. So, for example, you know, if there's tenants that don't know about the sale, you have to play strategically. Anything that you really need to know before going on the actual appointment. And then we'll also have the best callback time here. But 99% of the time, just call it back immediately as soon as you get the lead. Okay, so let me put all this to default. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is how it looks when there's a new lead. So contact status, pretty simple. You try to reach out to them. You attempt to call them.
Open the windows.
And once you do, let's say they don't pick up, then you click call attempt 1. What that does is it sends them a text with your number and saying, hey, you know, this is Matthew or this is Justin. Just tried to call you about 343, whatever the property address is. Please give me a call back at your earliest convenience. All right. And this is for us to know that, one, you've attempted to call them, so you're on top of it. And then for you to know that you need to reach back out to them. And, you know, you can go 2, 3, 4, up until you actually contact them. Right? So check this out. Hello, this is Joe Dillon calling to confirm the appointment that you scheduled with, and this will have our lead manager's name on it. Call me back at, and then this will have your phone number. Look forward to speaking with you. So You call them back again, let's say, in the next hour. They don't pick up, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then you can just keep it here until you contact them. All right, if you get them on the phone, voice to voice, and boom, that's when you go through the script. That's right in front of you. It's very simple. And we can go through that right now. It's very simple. Hey, hello, is this, let's say the seller name is Joe. Hello, is this Joe? Yes. Hey, Joe, my name is Matthew. I'm a licensed real estate professional. I know you actually just spoke with Joe regarding your property in Washington, D.C. How are you today? And then you keep going through the script. Great, that's good to hear. I'm doing well, too. As Joe had explained, I'll be helping you in possibly selling your property. I'll be coming out to evaluate your property, explain your options, and present you with a cash offer on the spot. I'm just calling to confirm our appointment at 1 p.m. Is that still good for you? Or does 3 p.m. work better? So really just short, cut, sweet. You're really just calling to confirm the appointment. You want to leave the majority of the rapport building and the establishing of trust for when you actually meet with them face to face. Okay, great. Well, let me confirm a few things. This is where you go through. You just confirm the address, bedrooms, bathrooms, etc., etc. And then you want to leave with a little bit of credibility. So, hey, great. Well, it was wonderful speaking to you. Is there anything else you'd like me to know about the property before I head out there tomorrow? And they can tell you anything from, like it says there, tenants don't know about the sale, so keep it on the hush. Or there's a big crazy dog and watch out.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
So I know, I saw when I was here last week, there was a estimated range for an offer that you would give on the wholesale side.
Exactly. Yes.
On the retail side, do you all, or does anybody do like comps or anything like beforehand, or is it? Because I have my
on the on the retail side, no.
In terms of price, okay.
Yeah, so and that's where your expertise comes in as well.
Cool. Okay.
But we do all of our analysis beforehand as far as the cash offer goes.
Okay.
We'll give you a range. Typically, you want to give them that range, of course, at the appointment. Depending on the condition of the property, especially in Baltimore. I know in DC it's a little different. Sometimes it doesn't matter because there's, a lot of them do full reguts anyways because the properties are really old and it calls for like high quality work here. But in Baltimore, for example, it definitely depends on the condition of the property. So, that's what the range is for. And what you guys can do, and we'll get into this later in steps to the sale, but what you guys can also do is as a kind of a tactic, or technique, you can give us a call while you're on the appointment and say, hey, I can call my buyer right now and give you a cash offer right now. If we don't give you the definite offer beforehand. So, great. I'm so excited to meet you and tour your property. Our team has a tremendous amount of success in your area. We've moved a ton of properties there. I can't wait to see you tomorrow at 4 and present the various options we have for you. So, at that point, right, so this is where so if you can look up on the screen for just a second. So this is contacted, right? You confirm the date. This date and time is already going to be what the acquisition specialist had established. If it's changed, then obviously just change it here. And if you confirm it, then you click confirmed. Okay. Now these other two buttons are here just in case. Let's say if they want to reschedule, but for whatever reason they haven't given you a confirmed time or date, then you can take this out and click the reschedule button. That's more of a to-do, so you know that you have to reschedule this. And you have to, let's say follow up with them tomorrow or next week or whatever their situation is.
And if they do reschedule, then they'd have to add a comment of why, correct? So they'll
Yeah,
leave acquisition.
absolutely.
Okay.
Just with everything, be as communicative as possible with this CRM, and you can add any and all comments here on the right. What I like about this is that it timestamps everything.
Okay.
So October 24th, 3:18 p.m. So this can really kind of tell the story. And just a quick aside on this, if you just want to look at the comments, you can click this little comments button right here. Okay. All right. Now, if it's canceled for whatever reason, and let's say they want to cancel the appointment altogether, which happens rarely, but unfortunately it does happen. Then you click this, and then it'll send it back to our investment side, and we'll see what happened with it. Okay. But the majority case scenario, hopefully, right, we'll be confirming all of our appointments. Now, our follow-up protocol is we want to follow up 24 hours before the appointment, and an hour and a half beforehand as well, same day, just to double confirm. And I'm sure you guys do that already. So after you complete the appointment, right? Do you want to go through the steps of the sale now?
Okay. That is true.
Yeah. Here. Here's a copy.
Thank you.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay. So now you're going on the appointment.
So when you go on the appointment, I'm very well aware of you guys having scripts with other brokerages. So tell me a little bit about what you know and how you go on appointments before I even go into this, just to see where you guys are skill set wise.
So it kind of depends on the setup. Like I usually have built a lot of rapport with the person ahead of time. So I very rarely run into a situation where I have to present like a PDF or PowerPoint that says this is this and this and this is what I have. So a lot of times I have like a PDF that I'll create that has kind of a basic understanding and outline of what the process is going to look like specific to what we're doing. Is it buying? Is it listing? Like if it's listing, it's going to, here's what we do to get your house ready. Here's what to expect. Here, this and this and that. And just kind of walking them through the process just so that there's a little bit more full disclosure, answering questions that they might have about that process that might be confusing, because I kind of find out that most people are really, they don't have a tremendous amount of knowledge when it comes to this, and so walking them through, answering any questions, and 99% of the time, it's just about that relationship. It's just about, do you trust me? Do you believe what I'm saying? Do you like me? Mm-hmm. Most of the time, if those things are in place, then if they have a goal in mind of selling their house or listing it, and I'm the guy that they like and trust, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So in general, like I go for the close at like different times depending on how the conversation is going. But like I'll go in, and if it's like just I signed a listing last week from a postcard I sent 2 years ago. So she doesn't know me from anybody else. I walked in. It's kind of you ask questions before you go in, but then you establish the rapport. It's like, okay, well, what are your goals? This is about you, and ask a bunch of questions. Tour the house, and the way I do it is I tell them I'm going to go do a quick tour of the house. I make some notes when I come back. And in that time, I will have given them some information to read about me and who I am, and just ask if they have any questions on the marketing or anything like that. And then we go straight and talk about the numbers, and then at that point I go for the close.
All right.
Cool.
Let's show them how we do ours. So ours is a little different only because of the fact that we're trying to secure the investment deal first. Right. And that's where, honestly, we all make the most money. You guys as well. And if we can get it as an investment, then we're going to try to list. So these appointments are set through postcards that are sent for wholesaling purposes. So it's going to be a little different, the appointment. So I can show you in person, kind of like enact it. Would you be my seller, my owner?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So, all right, I'm not gonna use this script.
You're not gonna use the script?
No, I don't think I need it because I've read it enough times. But so we're gonna go through for get up.
Oh.
I'll knock on the door and everything.
Oh, okay. Okay. You guys ready?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be the arrogant seller.
No pressure. No pressure.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you. So, Joe, tell me a little bit more about your property. At this point, I have a pen and paper with me. Always have your little magical pad with you. You just talked to them and you had confirmed the appointment, like right before you got there. Kind of built some rapport. How have you been? How's your day so far?
It's been good. I've been sitting on my porch, just enjoying the sun.
The weather here is absolutely phenomenal.
That's right.
I love it here. How long have you lived up here?
I just moved back out here, but I gotta get rid of this house. So,
Where'd you move from?
Tennessee.
Okay. Oh, what a difference. So, are you planning to go back?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and visit my family. I like it.
So is
You're a little
that
too mean here in Houston.
I know. I'm from Tampa, so I can tell. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing up there. So you're moving there. When do you plan to leave?
Ideally, as soon as possible.
I see. And are you current? Are you current on your mortgage? You said you had a little bit.
You know, I've missed the past few, but that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, alright. Wow, sounds like you gotta get out of here quick. Well, let's see if I can help you.
Okay.
Alright, let's walk around. Could you show me around?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, so.
So this is the kitchen right here. So
Your kitchen. It doesn't look like you've done any updating.
yeah, you know, it's all original, but look, it's in great condition.
Well, I mean, it is original, right? But over there in the corner, I see like a little leak. What's that from?
Could be, you know, when it rains really hard, sometimes it gets small leak. I think the roof problem is the replaced.
When was it last replaced?
20 years ago.
20 years. So, ooh, that's about, with this size of a house, that's about $10,000 right there. Interesting. Okay, let's finish walking through. You gotta walk.
We don't actually have to walk around.
No, we gotta do this. It's
Alright.
real.
Walk.
What happened to the ceiling there? Why is it caving in? This is a legit question.
Yeah, you know, I really don't know. What do you think that is?
Honestly, not only does it look like your roof is bad, it looks like you may have some actually ceiling insulation issues. Something to do with the insulation being cold and perhaps the leaking. You might have some mold up there. That's why it's caving in. Right. Okay. Alright, I see.
Okay.
And the floors? When's the last time you replaced your floors?
I think these floors are original.
The original.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, Joe.
So, let me show you the basement. Alright, this is the basement right here.
Perfect. I do like the wall colors though. It's very nice. So when you're with them, even though it's hard, like, because you're bashing their house, try to look for something that's nice, because they're going to appreciate that.
Something that's not really valuable. That's nice.
Yeah. Like,
I love your outlet coverage.
yeah, like, oh, I love that lamp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When's the last time you changed the windows?
Yeah, those are probably 25.
And how many windows would you say you have?
Let's see, there's 12 here on the first floor, another 8 on the top floor.
Ooh,
So-
that's about $300 a pop right there to get the windows changed. Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Yeah, we have some expenses. Well, let's discuss some possibilities here. Joe, where can we sit down?
Right here is fine.
Okay, kitchen table. Perfect. Do you know how to cook?
I do a little bit.
A little bit.
Do you?
I do know how to cook. I cook well. All right, Joe. So, considering we need to replace the roof. Oh, the investors. So what are they going to have to do to get this moving ready? Let me just calculate this number. Roof, floors, windows. Just looking at the numbers, they're going to have to put at the very minimum about $50,000 into the property to actually resell the property or get it ready for a tenant to move in. Can you see where that's coming from? Perfect. And you said you wanted to move as soon as possible. And how many payments are you delinquent in?
3 as of this month.
3. And how much was your mortgage?
2,500.
20. The mortgage, no.
Every month?
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
how much is left on the
Yeah.
on the payoff? Yeah, probably like 140.
140. At this juncture, you guys already know what they're willing to buy it for. What were you willing to buy it for? The ACE Equity Pros.
Oh, like just an example in this case?
Yeah, we're using an example.
Well, let's just say 200. Let's just say 200.
200, and they owe 150?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So they walk away with 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
If they owe 140, so okay, would you accept 140 as a way to walk away from the property? Would you do that, or would you just go straight for the 200?
And that highly depends.
Yeah.
That highly depends. I mean, all sellers are different.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to lose and I've talked to so many home sellers. You don't want to lose a deal by insulting them.
Right.
So if they're savvy, it all depends. That's why asking questions is one of the most effective ways to understand your client, right? And understand where they are, how knowledgeable are they about the market, and this and that. And so, if we never asked, we've closed multiple six-figure wholesale deals, assignment fees, and all because we pressured them and asked them how much they wanted. Right. That's where the big boys come in. But you have to gauge each one differently. And so, if it's like a savvy 40-year-old or 30-year-old investor who's willing to take a cash offer, and you don't want to insult him with a $150,000 offer if he knows it's worth $250 or $200, let's say.
So what's the ARV here? Like the market value after?
We could say like 400. Yeah.
Okay.
400, 420.
But at this juncture, we're gonna try to take the comps that support like the least expensive houses because it's an as-is condition.
Right.
All right. So we're willing to buy it for $200 cash.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, and we're closing in 14 days or less. On all.
Are we role playing right now?
No, I'm like asking questions because I would have known this before. I would have known these numbers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm getting this before. Okay, 14 days or less.
Do you guys run like title search stuff at a time, or?
No, definitely not. We only do title. We only run title because that costs money. So, what's that?
On your own deals.
Exactly. Well, as soon as we get the contract, that's when we run the title search immediately, the title report.
So they understand like that once we get under contract that we have that window to work with for the title. You know what I mean? Because obviously until that's clear, we're not going to let them sell it. So
yeah, absolutely. And more often than not, everything is fine and everything checks out. Yeah. Although you get some sellers that are like, oh, I don't know. You get some sellers that
have liens on liens.
They maybe they have liens, or maybe it was an inherited property, so they don't really know what they inherited, what kind of liens on the property. And in one case, this guy didn't even know that he didn't own the property anymore. Yeah, we got under contract with him, and it turns out that 2 years back, the deed had transferred.
Wow.
I'm just curious. You remember who actually owned the property? Or?
Yeah, it was, I think foreclosed on by the city in Baltimore, and then resold like 2 years ago.
And the guy's just in there.
Yeah, he was like an absentee owner.
Oh, he's absentee.
So he didn't really know. Yeah. And it had been vacant for a while. You get those a lot.
Okay, so then you just
go ahead.
So then now with the numbers that we already have, because you're going to know what the ARV is, you're going to know what the listing price is. So let's just say we can list it for $375, right? Because they're selling around $400 the house. We want to price a little lower, so we're not going to be in the competition with everyone else. We want to beat the competition. Price to sell, not to sit. We don't like overpriced listings. Yeah. I don't know how you run your businesses.
I don't take them.
I don't take them either. Yeah. I have like a 10% rule where I'll go over a little bit, with the idea that we're going to go down in price eventually.
I negotiate that for
me too. Like a 2-week payment schedule kind of thing, like lower the price schedule. Perfect. They know what they're doing. I like that.
Good. Yeah,
great job.
Well, because it doesn't help anybody for taking a listing you can't sell.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad reputation, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so then at this juncture, then we're just going to go back to what we were doing. All right, Joe, so going over the numbers and talking to my investors, they said they are willing to actually pay you, this is great news, $200,000 cash in 14 days or less. And think about it. You'd be able to get rid of your mortgage. Out of that, we're going to pay off $150 to your mortgage company. You won't be late. Your credit will then be clean. And you get to play with $50,000 too. Take that with you. You can go vacation with it for a little, invest into a business or whatever it may be. But you're going to be able to do what you'd like to do, which was get back to Tennessee.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me pause it real quick. So, the seller, right, there are some circumstances where we present them a cash offer over the phone, range. So let's say we did present this over the phone, then she would go ahead and say, well, When you were talking with whoever the acquisition specialist was, and you'll know it'll be on your lead. Let's say when you were talking with Joe, he explained to you that that they could offer you anywhere from $160,000 to $200,000. Now, considering the condition of the property, right, after you walk through it with them, and let's say you beat down the property here and there, that's when you kind of gauge where you would be within that range. And like I said, some cases, and I'll show you everything here in a second how it will look in Podio, but most of the time we do present them an offer range. Sometimes, given kind of how they're reacting to us, we won't present them a cash offer for means of not insulting them. Or for example, if they tell us that they want $500,000 and it's worth $300,000, we already know that that's a listing rate and we don't even bother with a cash offer. So we'll go through in a second like the 4 different types of leads, but just know that if we did tell them the offer range, then that's a good thing, right? Because then that relieves the proposal of the offer off your shoulders, like the first offer, and then they already know how much we're offering. So then she could substantiate where we're going to be within that range based on the condition of the property. So you could say something like, "Hey, well, I know when you spoke with Joe over the phone, he offered you $160,000 to $200,000 depending on the condition of the property. Now, after looking at the property and how much renovation is going to cost, the roof, the windows, the electrical, plumbing, those are big. Whatever the case may be, it seems that we're going to have to be at the $180,000 mark. Now, and then you can go into the benefits of the cash offer. We're going to close in 2 weeks. It's all cash. There's no contingencies, things like that. And then go into the close that way.
Do you guys find that you give those ranges more often than leave it just ambiguous?
Yes. No, we definitely give them more often than we don't. Yeah. And in some cases, here. Let me actually go through that right now. Let me take a look here. So, again, just to refresh. Hey, Justin, can you take a look for a second? So, just refresh. This is the beginning of the lead. It's just going to have the property address and your name here. And then the status of the lead, right? So the agent workspace is where you're going to be doing all of your clicking around and your edits, right? Under that is seller and property info, and it's not for you to really touch, but it's for you to see. So it'll have the seller name here, the phone number, the email if they have it, if they've given it to us, the details, the occupancy, right? And this is just a test lead, by the way, but this will all be filled out. 3 bedrooms, needs to sell ASAP, whatever the case is. And it'll have a detailed report here. And then it'll have their asking price as well. So let's say for this one they were asking for $400,000. Oh wait, you know what? Let's say in this case they were asking for $200,000. And that's where we offer them. So here under evaluation, this is where the offer range will be filled out. So it'll typically look something like this, right? And the ARV will be there as well. This will already be there. I'm just filling it in, just so you can see it. So ARV 400,000. And then this will tell you. Again, this will all already be filled out. This will tell you whether they accepted the offer, whether they didn't accept it, or whether it wasn't given. Okay. So it'll be, let's say they accepted the offer. Okay. So this is pretty much where you go to see what's going on with this lead. Now, let me just go over the type of deal real quick. So investment lead is, let me explain investment deal ready first. So investment deal ready is really the acquisition specialist has already negotiated everything. The deal is ready to go. You literally need to go and pick up the contract and get a signature. And that one is going to be very, very clean cut, dry. I mean, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be a quicker appointment. It doesn't have to be, but you really just need to go there and get the signature.
Is that also like a last line of defense to make sure that the property is not caving in and falling apart from what we discussed on the phone?
Well, the majority of the time, our offer range. That's what the range is for. And the lower end of the range is typically, if we're gonna have an investment deal ready, it's typically gonna be at the lower end of the range, just for, just to secure us, of course.
Yeah.
But we have gone back and renegotiated a contract before, to get a lower price because it was too high. We ideally do not want to do that. That rarely happens because we do great analysis here. But just to let you know, worst case scenario, we can do that. So that's investment deal ready. Investment lead is really dependent on their conditions. So like they're distressed. They have a hospital bill to pay. They're late on their mortgage. They're in pre-foreclosure. It's a probate property and it's vacant. It's been vacant for 2 years. They have a tenant in the property who's not paying. All of these are key distressed investment deals. So that's what an investment lead is. Either or is it's not necessarily one or the other. And then a listing lead is obviously they want way too much.
Yeah.
So really that's the main determining factor for us to click listing lead is like they just want too much. So
that's going to be chosen for you before you go on the appointment. So you're able to discriminate, like you're like, hey, this is going to be a listing. You're not even going to talk about the cash offer.
Right.
Or either or is kind of like what I'm doing now, because when he does a rebuttal, I'm probably going to just go ahead and try to list it for $375.
Yeah, so with all of these three, you're always presenting the cash offer, of course. And listing lead, you're just going straight for the listing. You can give them the option, but I wouldn't really emphasize it. For the rest of these three, we definitely want to emphasize the cash offer deal because you could potentially make more money there. We make more money as well, and it's faster, quicker.
Very quick.
It's good on all ends, and you can potentially. We're really going to push for you guys to be the listing agent for any investor that we sell it to, which shouldn't be an issue. It should not be an issue. So there's ways to to double, triple dip on all ends here. Any questions with regards to these categorizations? Okay, awesome, cool. So after you go, did you want to revert back? Okay, sorry. Right.
All right, so basically we're at the table. We're back to where we were. All right, so Joe, what do you think about that? $200,000, move in 14 days or less?
Okay. That's a little lower than I wanted, but you said you can get this done in 14 days?
Or less. How quick can you move?
Are we assuming this is owner-occupied?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can get out of here tomorrow, if I need to. But is 200 the best you can do?
Looking at the condition of the house and all the work that needs to be done, in all honesty, that's a great deal. It really is. Let me show you why.
Okay.
See, there's a house right down the street. This sold for $375. However, did you know that this house that sold for $375 was completely gutted out and remodeled from head to toe?
I wouldn't even do that. I would just show them as it comes. Because they're going to see this $375 and I'm like, oh, shit.
No, I'm getting to a point. Watch.
Okay.
All right. See, it's $375. And then there's this one that was as is, and it was $170,000. Right? So here's the catch. If you can put into the property a good $100,000, we can get it to that point. We just need some time. I would say about 4 or 5 months to remodel, $100,000 cash invested, or maybe you can pull credit from somewhere. We can remodel the house and we can list it, and then from there we're going to have to wait on the market between 30 to 90 days. So I'd say we can sell your house in the next 7 months if we went that route, and if you had that kind of money to put in.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to do that. But still, I thought you said it was going to take $50,000 to remodel the house.
Yeah, but for yours, that's $50,000 minimum. This house had $100,000 put into it. I know because we actually sold this to one of our investors.
Oh.
Hey. Boss it up, sauce.
Okay.
And 99.9% of the time, if a person's late on their mortgage, they don't
You
have.
started talking about 7
The
months.
meat.
So
They're like 7 months. What?
let's get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do show them because here's what happens. Let's say that tomorrow Mr. Joe wanted to get smart and go on Zillow and start looking at comps, or he tells one of his coworkers, oh, we know this house sold this much. You don't look like you lied or you played them.
For sure.
Because they're going to feel like you took advantage of them. But if you try to explain it to them, how and why it sold for that much, it really brings clarity to the situation. Like, logically, this is why it went for that much. You
And
know
you're
what I
giving
mean?
them options.
Yeah, and you're giving them
You know what I mean?
options.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
it's an
probably-
either or.
Right.
Yeah, this
Which
is an
is
either or
probably
listing.
how you avoid having to do congruent closes with the settlement company to avoid them seeing what you made. Because if you gave them options,
Yep.
at the end of the day, you're a broker. If you want $100,000 for your property, I'll find you a buyer for $100,000 for your property. If that costs me an extra $25,000 to do so, and it is what it is. But that was always why I was trying to get past not paying 2 sets of closing costs, so that I avoid them knowing what I actually made from the deal. But if you're presenting those 2 options, I feel like it doesn't guard you from having those issues.
Be honest up front, because they'll always find out. You guys know from experience, I'm sure. Like, I've had listings cancel on me where they're like, let me think about it. And then the next day they're like, well, my friend said the house 2 miles away sold for this much. You didn't pull that comp. I'm like, well, it's 2 miles away,
Yeah.
But still, they get offended. And if you didn't address that in the meeting or the interview, they're going to feel like they were taken advantage of.
Yeah, I'll pull a listing summary of everything. And I'll have 3 pages in front of them and say, these are all the sales.
Yeah.
And what I do is I pick the most like-kind properties. And I say, so they see that I've looked at everything.
Yep.
I looked at, and then I pick these 3 active.
You highlight them, and you're like,
It's like, these are the ones that we're going to discuss, and then we figure out a range.
Yeah.
That you're asking.
But for example, for a property like this, and in the lead, you'll, after talking with the homeowner and in the lead, you'll really get a good idea of what's going on with the property. And so if it is a distressed property, you're going to want them to show them mostly as is comps, right?
Of course.
So-
Absolutely.
Yeah, so for example, you want to show them the cheapest properties that are selling in that area that are comparable, of course, right? So, if this guy says, oh, but this property sold for $225,000, I go, oh, well, sir, that was fully renovated. And if you want to look at as is comps, this property sold for $36,000, right?
It's nice views of the city.
What's that?
You can see the whole city. Like where this house is on. Right over the
Yeah.
lake. You see the sky.
Oh, you know this area? Okay, good. Perfect. Yeah, and so that was an either or.
That's an either or. That's why you're
Done.
supposed to have a retail one. Now, if it was investment only, we don't take either or. We're just we're going cash offer.
If it's an investment deal ready, yeah, and then if it's an investment lead, you always want to want to really, really emphasize. And
I mean, if it's clear that the
mainly
house
talk
needs to be
about it.
rehabbed, and if the roof is caving in,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, the way I would look at it, if I can't list this property, I'm not,
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna put some emphasis on that.
Exactly. And so, you guys have experience with
Oh, yeah.
that stuff. So.
Yeah. Actually, I've only done in my last experience one wholesale deal, but
Okay.
I have closed the wholesale deal.
Okay.
Successfully, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I have to go back and renegotiate because my inexperience.
Oh yeah,
It's about $20,000 too high.
we've all been there, man.
It worked out though.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, so do you have anything else to go over with the role play?
No, and then you're more than likely you're gonna be like, no, I just want to sell. Oh, and I try to avoid. I don't know about you guys, but I learned that words are very powerful. So I don't say contract. I don't say sign the contract or sign here. I say now all we have to do is authorize the paperwork.
Simple as that. take care of. Yeah.
Authorize it, because that way it takes away that
De-emphasize.
feeling. Yeah. So I like these guys.
Authorize the paperwork is gold. That's good.
Just a little paperwork.
Yeah, just authorize the paperwork. And then you have to ask them this question and kind of get their minds in the moment too. So we can close on the 1st or the 15th of next month. Which works better for your schedule? And then you're closing them. They're like, oh, well, I think the 1st would be fine. And you just lock them in. And as soon as you do, you get them signed. We give it over to, how do you want them to send it to you? Via fax or email?
It's all done right here.
Or just scan it back into the computer?
Yeah, I'm about to show you.
Perfect.
You guys deal with like any EMD checks with them for holding the property, or do you guys not do that?
Yeah, but the EMD goes straight to the title
Company.
How much y'all typically put down? Like $50?
500.
Yeah, 500.
Yeah.
About 500.
Yeah, well, in DC, maybe in Baltimore we should lower it.
Sure, I mean, $100.
That's the most.
$100?
Yeah, the price points.
Exactly.
I mean, they can go up to depending on the area, but
Yeah.
500 is
Yeah.
You have a title company in the Baltimore area that you use? Or you just
Yeah,
send
well,
it
we
to-
actually use District Title
Okay.
here in DC, but they actually also have a branch in Baltimore. They do closings in Baltimore
Alright.
too.
'Cause I have
And then-
one that I use. So
Yeah,
But
which
you
one?
already
Which
have-
one do you use?
I use the King Title.
King Title?
Yeah, they're in Pikesville,
Okay.
and they do a ton of like wholesale stuff. But,
Cool,
If
cool.
you already have somebody that's cool.
Yeah. We also have Lakeside. So we work with District and Lakeside.
Okay.
Lakeside Title is in Lutherville.
Who would you guys, because you have experience here, I'm sorry, it's going to go off topic just for a second. Lenders. I'm not familiar with lenders here in this area. Do you have
For retail?
retail?
All right. Well, my guy in Baltimore, it's like, retail. Now, buyer has money and good credit, or buyer needs help.
No, just for a loan. For like.
No, but I'm saying, because I have a guy, but he doesn't do 2 or 3K. So
I want a lender overall that does everything.
That does all the products.
That does it all. Do you have anyone?
Fairway Independent Mortgage, Alyssa Sabecki. She is our brokerage's the top preferred lender. Her husband is my partner for a flipping business, so she takes very good care. So what she does, it's a little bit different. Is she'll go and go to her underwriters, for her deals ahead of time, so that when she's not like a pre-approval letter is not like the paper it's written on, and people just use that to get a lender might use a pre-approval letter that's done off of the most basic data that they've received in order to try and get their business, hoping that they can kind of figure it out. But then once it goes to underwriting, if they don't, if there's an issue, they kick it back. So to have that reassurance that I know if she tells my client that they can close, we can close.
Okay.
For sure. So she's really good. And then I have one other guy that I've only done one transaction with. And I can't recall the firm he's with. I was just really impressed with his professionalism. He's one of those guys that's been in the game for 35, 40 years, but doesn't have the personality to match the time that he's been in the business.
Okay.
For some reason, there's some paradigm shift there that just, people become assholes over time, I guess. I don't know. Or tend to get that chip on their shoulder. They're not as in tune with customer service. So if I send somebody to them, it's super important to me that they give them the warm and fuzzies, that they take care of them, that they hold their hand through that process, regardless of how much experience.
And where are they located?
She is her main office is in Sterling, which used to be right next to our Burge, but we just opened up a new one in Ashburn. But she does 2 or 3K.
Where's Sterling?
It's
sorry.
It's
35, 40 minutes.
Is it in Virginia?
It's in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's new to me.
No. Totally understand.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
He's awesome.
Awesome.
That's
Okay.
all.
So now I have to, because I need to be able to refer my clients somewhere. I'm like, I don't know.
yeah.
Perfect.
And so okay. So let's continue here. So you just got back from the appointment. So one thing that we ask you to always keep updated after your appointments, come back here and click completed. So all of this, by the way, all of these items, these fields, they all link to numbers on our back end. We're very, very diligent, and we emphasize tracking numbers at our business. And so we'll be going over numbers every single week. How many appointments you got, how many confirmed, how many appointments you completed, how many investment contracts you got, how many listing agreements you got, and we're going to be looking at conversion as well.
Is there do they have a mobile app or a mobile version of this site?
Podio does, yes. But when you can, I know there are a few, minor idiosyncrasies with the app. So if you can try to update it on the computer, so you just completed the appointment. Click this little completed button right here, and then update deal status, which is right here. So let's say if you got the investment contract, and we got it for 190, because Nihad was able to talk me down to 190. So then you put the price there. Any details about the circumstance, about the situation, about vacancy or access to the property that we should know, you're going to put here. So you're going to want to let them know that, after they sign the contract, right, not before, but after they sign the contract, you want to let them know that we're going to need access to the property for, evaluation of repairs and to kind of get things moving. Just for the investment side, obviously. So we're going to need access to the property. And if there's any issues with that, or let's say, the owner lives elsewhere, and he's going to mail us the keys, mail keys, follow up with him, address. All right, and then, or let's say if there's someone else too, like what you can put here is contact information. If there's someone else involved, so tenant contact info, Kimberly. Find someone, whatever. Right? And then that way we have the contact information for the tenant. If we get an investment contract, obviously we have investors that need to come and look at the property. And so, we need access to it. So anything that would get in the way of that, just put anything like that here. Deal details.
Is there an expectation set with them about that?
What do you mean?
About the access to the property? Do you guys typically have like with Washington Capital, when they're wholesaling a property, they'll schedule like one walkthrough, and that's like your time to go with your contractor, whoever's working on the project.
Are you talking about for our investors?
Yeah.
Yeah, we always do one showing. Yeah. We aim to do one showing so that it saves us time and it saves them time too.
And they do inspections at the same time?
No, we don't do inspections. For investment contracts?
You mean like they bring their contractor with them?
Oh, you mean the investors themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they either bring their contractor or they come themselves and they kind of just
do you have
look at the property.
Here's meeting one, I gotta come back out with my guy. And
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. And typically we just let the homeowner know that, hey, we're gonna have a few contractors come out, take a look at the property, and get a few quotes here and there. And then
that keeps the continuity as far as
exactly. And then, so you put that information here, you put the deal price there, and then you click this button, investment contract ratified. What that does is that creates an item here in, I'm going to show you. So remember that there are 5 apps. This is the leads app, that creates an item in the investment deals app, and it sends it to our backend, right? And so I created one earlier, that's this. So really, if you get an investment contract, you send it to us, and then that's really it. It's off your hands because obviously that's what we do, right? So this app is merely just here for you guys to just stay updated on it if you guys want to know where it is. So that's why all it has really is the status. Pending, marketing, this means we're marketing it to our investors. Schedule and showing, follow-up offer after the showing, and then assigned means we found a buyer, and then it closed. That's essentially it. It'll have the contract price here, the target close date, how much we're marketing it for, and the showing date.
It's very clean cut, very straight to the point, simplified.
Exactly.
So show them from the get. So let's say they log on. So they're going to log on with their name to Podio. We're going to create an access for them. They would click on leads or appointments. It's going to be ready for them in Agent Workspace.
Yeah, so when you log on, okay, there you go. When you log on, it's going to look like this. You're going to go up here to choose a workspace, and you're just going to have access to this 3-agent workspace. Okay, and that's where it brings up this page right here. So Leads is the main app, like I said, that we've kind of been working through. Again, just to go over it one more time, the views are on the left-hand side. We'll be creating private views for each of you for my leads and my new leads, right? And if there's any other view that you want to put down there, then you can feel free to do that on your own as well. I can go over real quick, just so because we have this on video, you can reference this back. But I'll show you guys how to create a view real quick.
Did you show them where they see the videos and learn about Podio? Show them the SOP.
Yeah, I'll do that after. So you just go down here, create new view. What you want to do, the way to create a view, to create the filter, is this little filter button right here, the hourglass. And then whatever you want to filter by, right? Anything that you're going to be doing on your private views is first going to be filtered by you. So let's say this is me. And then whatever other filter that you want. So you can do, like, this is just all my leads. And then you can split it. You can either filter it or split it. And what that's going to look like, for example, let me show you. Is you can filter all of your leads by status. My leads by status. And then it'll pretty much look like this, but for your own, only for your own leads. Okay. So you can see, let's say, okay, you have 3 new leads, 13 unconfirmed, 10 confirmed, 15 rescheduled, 10 complete, let's say.
And how do they know when a lead has been assigned to them?
They get a text message.
Immediately.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You get a text message and you get an email. Yeah. So there should be no reason why you can't get back to the seller ASAP.
And what is their time frame to respond before it goes to the next agent?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So it's fair enough time.
Yeah.
We have to respond like
and you can
5 right now. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, don't have to.
Yeah, the sooner the better, because they say the retention of the lead is within the first 10 minutes you lose them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't answer, they're going to call another agent. That's just how the game is played in real estate. Yeah.
35 other agents.
Yeah. Like,
I
oh.
bit the house and you're like, here, she's on the.
Yeah. Oh, and he had an answer. On to Matthew. On to Justin. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can use your private views to kind of organize yourself, organize your leads. Okay. So again, once you get a listing, once you get an investment contract, it'll be here, right, in Investment Deals app. All right. Now let's go back to the leads real quick. I want to show you. So let's say the appointment is complete, but you got a listing. You're pretty much going to do the same exact thing, and you're going to do your listing price. And instead of clicking this, you're just going to click listing agreement, ratified, sent to listings. What that does is the exact same thing except for the listings app. Oh, excuse me.
So now, with the way we're doing things now, because they're not a part of our team, and we're not going to be doing anything for the listings, what do we do then?
What do you mean?
So they just take it and they put it in their file with their brokerage.
Right.
And then what do they do here? Do they still send you all the information?
So if it's a listing,
Yeah, if it's not an investment deal.
I don't know. That's what you and Ralph discussed.
Because
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because I don't know if at that exact moment, I guess if there's enough time, like if we know it's a possible listing lead and go to it, we could run comps and figure out like, you know, what it would be. But, you know, sometimes there's going to be maybe some staging or just a couple little things that we might change, and there might not be a solid listing price like right then, right at that second. So I don't know if it's something where like we've gotten the paperwork signed, we agree that within the next couple of days we're going to hone in on exactly what that's going to be, do some more diligence on the comps. Then, I mean, after we have that and that agreed upon price, I'm sure that's included on like that referral form, and then we can probably go in and update that in the system after, so that, you know, once we know what that price is contracted under, then we're good to go.
Does that happen often?
I mean, it depends. Usually, like the conversation, you know, I'll have a conversation with someone, and I can show you my you know, like the little comps and the Excel sheet that I use for that. But sometimes I'll show it to them, and then they'll want to discuss it for a couple of days, or I'll say, hey, but if we do, you know, these couple little things, that might warrant a little bit more. You know, so there's just, it's not always so cut and dry all the time that you know. I mean, I could say, here's the range, and I could put, you know, I could just say this is the range of what I'm thinking. Obviously, we can pull that from comps, but there might be a discussion that needs to be had between them and their spouse that they're good for us moving forward with listing, but they just want to figure out if they're comfortable with that price.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, well, in that scenario, you know, you can still just create the listing, and you can always just update it here. This isn't, you know, completely final.
And once it's signed, you just need to know it's signed, and then send you the form, right? That's it, like the referral form.
Yeah, I would
Because
say
like y'all are pretty much at the point, because if we're doing pictures
yeah.
and our own signs and stuff like that, you don't really. All the other stuff doesn't really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, until you join the team, that's when we would take over everything.
Yeah.
It'll be the other way around. You would give us a listing agreement, and then we would take it from there, and we'd take it to our transaction coordinator, get it on MLS, get the pictures done, get the marketing done, signs, flyers sent out. So it's pretty awesome. It helps a
So what
lot.
are you guys using for the transaction coordinator?
Actually, we're looking into the virtual advantage at the moment until we get our transaction coordinator, whom both of you guys have met, fully up to speed on the retail division. But she used to sell like 20 REOs in a month with our old company. She used to work for a real estate agent team, so she's very well trained on that. We just have to get her up to speed with it, you know, our agent side. So yeah, we'll be having it in house.
I told you my wife works for them too, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how how we heard about it.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, awesome. And so, you know, this is kind of just to keep us updated as well on what's going on. So keep this updated. So this is the listing status right here. So this is the listings app. So this is the corresponding lead, your name right there, and the listing status. So coming soon, active, pending contract, sold, expired or withdrawn. This is all the listing details, the address, date, price listed, agreed upon commission, and then this is your projected agent profit. The MRS number, the link to comps, the link to the Dropbox pics, and any notes.
I have a question for you guys in regards to commission here in the States, because I'm not familiar. Are you allowed to charge a 7% commission?
Charge whatever you want.
You charge whatever you
That's
want here
across the
too?
United States. Yeah, you can't collude. You know.
Have you ever tried to get a 7% versus 6?
No.
I've gotten several 7%.
Have you?
Yeah, because normally, like the people that I meet with, it's usually between like 5 and 6, just because even if you like lay out very similar packages, it's like someone's willing to, like I turned somebody away because they were trying to, like, they wouldn't. It was too little. And I was like, I can't take it for that, but the term was between 5 and 6. But I know people that have gotten 7s in DC area. So
Because then worst case scenario, you get 6.
right.
Because they're like, nope, I'm not paying. I don't want 7. I'm like, okay, then I'll do it for 6%.
It's
And then you keep 4,
Yeah.
or you keep 3.5, and
Yeah.
so back to the other side. So.
Nice.
I mean, that perceived value, that's, you know, when you sit down and that PDF that I'll use sometimes is to, you know, try to make them aware, like, do you really understand, like, you know, you running your own open houses and what that's going to look like on your schedule, and, you know, taking your own photos, and, you know, not having access to all the private Facebook forums with all the realtors that we have access to, and then marketing.
Conversion.
Yeah, I mean, so much stuff. Because you get the, like, you know, this, like, Redfin, you know, objection here and there, and like, you know, I'm the only person to deal with the entire transaction. There's, you know, you kind of get what you pay for sometimes in those. And so when you show people that, you know, your average days on market is like less than 2 weeks, and, you know, you show them that you've got, you know, it's all high quality and you're there the whole time to provide that support and this. I mean, all you can do is just try to build up that perceived value and relationship. You know.
I agree.
So,
Well said.
and I also try not to bend too much because if you can ideally always offer 3% on the buyer side, it just ensures you're going to have more, visibility because there are agents that are like, didn't see that one because it's only 2% or 2.5%.
Yeah, I don't show property that's 2%.
Yeah.
Yep, I don't.
Yeah, I think like so where I'm at, like 2.5 is pretty typical for buyers. Buyer agents, like majority of the listings are offered 2.5% buyer agents. So as far as on the list
that
side,
is true. Maryland is crazy. Almost every property I've ever shown
It's 2.5.
And there's a way around that.
Yeah.
My our team leader in our office in Tampa is an attorney, and he drew up an email that we actually sent to the listing agent before we show the property. It goes a little something like this. Hey, I have a client who's interested in your listing. However, I work for 3% commission. If I show my buyer and we're willing to go ahead and make an offer, would you up the commission to 3%? Make sure it's always an email. And 9 times out of 10, they say yes. Yeah. It's a matter of just asking for it, and then you can just secure 0.5% more to your commission. So I always do that too. You should try it, see what happens.
There's also like something in the
just an email.
Yeah, and you can put. I mean, I actually consider putting in even my buyer's contract that it's 3%. So if the MLS says 2%, then they're paying the difference in the buyer. Because it just like it just when you start adding in.
We don't want to race to the bottom. Like it's just because where does it stop?
Exactly.
We can drop it down.
Right.
So do you guys understand the workspace and how it works and everything?
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty clean workflow.
Very clean, very easy, very clean. You guys are sharp, so you guys can get it like this. And now it's just time to understand and how we're gonna really just handle the appointments. That's one of the biggest things. And so I think what we're gonna do is like get Mike Ferry training, and also one of my good friends. His name is Jeremy. He runs a very big brokerage in New Jersey. He said also he'll get on a private call with me and Mike Ferry, and we'll try and develop more of a unique system and script using what they use, obviously for conversion, and then what we use and seeing how the two collide.
Sure.
So, And as you guys test this out, it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of, objections you get, what kind of, overcoming objections you guys can create, essentially, But, it's going to be very interesting. So, yeah.
And I have an Excel sheet that I've used before too that I set up that is broken down between DC, Virginia, and Maryland that has a breakdown of the different like main aspects of a house for remodeling. So if I put in, like for Virginia, if I put in 16 under the windows, it automatically calculates based off of like our historical rehab numbers with contractor numbers. Okay, 16 windows equals this amount of money. Right. The roof is going to be this much. So I'm not necessarily making it up, and there's a little bit more tangible, system for me to show them, oh, we have 16 windows we need to do. Because it might not be all the windows, it might be a few. Right. And then it gives me an actual number
of rehab
associated with it that validates what I'm saying. And if my pitch is in sync with what, we're talking about in terms of justifying the purchase price, it usually just helps legitimize that.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah, of course. And we'll be going through consistent training every week, closing training, rebuttals, and going over numbers, and so we'll keep it tight.
Yeah, like after this week, like we'll start giving you guys appointments ASAP. So like starting tomorrow, if you guys are free, then we'll start sending you guys appointments ASAP. And what we'd like to know, I'm sure maybe Joe probably said, is what available times are you guys most open for appointments, so that we can tell our people, hey, book these appointment times between this date and this time, or these dates and these times, so that we know very clearly.
Exactly.
And I'll write those down, so if you guys want to tell us what your schedule is like.
Yeah, the best schedule. Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you guys use Google Calendar at all?
I do.
Perfect.
Do you keep your appointments and your listings?
Perfect. Yeah, then our Google Calendar syncs. We'll have it with our acquisition managers.
Yeah. So I'll send you guys something after, and we can just sync our Google Calendars.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because literally we've set, 35 appointments for just an agent here in DC, in just like a matter of like a month and a half. And these are like, that's like, $5 million worth of listings at least. Maybe even more than that. One of them was actually a $2 million listing, and she blew all of them. Like and the only reason we knew is because I was, we never wanted the appointments with her. We assumed that she was doing well because she's with a team or whatever. She went on this appointment and she just did terrible. It was just
What was it?
unfriendly,
Oh.
no rapport. The rapport was terrible. She was not prepared for the appointment, and she just treated it like it was whatever, garbage. And it was ridiculous. And so, there's a lot of opportunity there because we need somebody for the appointments. And as long as you guys can bring that conversion, and we're going to be reviewing numbers consistently, talking about how the appointment went, things like that, and then she'll start going on appointments with you guys to learn herself as well. She's excellent at sales, and then we'll master it that way. Yeah, and then you just tell me, because in Baltimore we don't know Baltimore that well. You tell me areas that you think are really hot for investments and really hot for listings, and we'll just start pounding that area. We'll start doing. You already gave it to him.
I'll give you something.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah,
You want zip codes?
Zip codes is the easiest thing for us to be able to extract expired listings, do marketing to, equity owners and, properties that have been bought over 10 years ago. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 21207.
20207.
21207. So all of Baltimore's pretty much 212 and then
21207. Yeah, I think we actually marketed that zip code.
21206.
Yep.
Yeah. 07 is like Southwest. Like
That's like 350 ARV, right?
No, I mean ARVs in 07 are usually it's like
270?
like upper twos.
Upper twos,
Yeah, so I know
okay.
you want to be at 260, right?
Exactly. At least 260 ARVs,
Actually, so given that, let me. I know a bunch of zip codes, but let me. I need to go back and look at the ARVs and make sure we're over 260.
Give me the zip codes and we'll check the ARVs
Okay.
too. What you think is hot and popping and
As long as the ARV is not like 150.
Oh, that's that deal?
I don't even want to.
Then yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right.
We'll have to do
All right,
it
so
exactly.
21207, 21206,
21214.
250.
21214.
Sounds hot, no?
No.
That's hot as
And
shit.
he's saying his sound was really.
For 3 units?
Yeah. So if you look at
All
the
right, I'll give you some. I'll also give you some in Roanoke County.
3
chunks
parcels.
of
21060.
three on one side, and some on the other side.
21061.
61.
The fire department does it for
Oh yeah, man. If you don't want to pay to have things demoed, you can call.
21234.
21.
Really?
Yeah.
No way, just in DC?
21214.
No,
Or anywhere.
No, anywhere. They'll burn it down. Then you don't, and they use it as like a project
21222.
to train their firefighters.
Ah,
You don't have to pay
that's
them.
so dope, dude. How'd you know? That's awesome. That's crazy. How'd you find that out?
21228.
Just talking to people just over time.
21229.
That's awesome.
Because we look at a house and we're like, damn, this is like almost a tear down.
And then I'll give you some Howard County ones,
how much
which
it's
you
going to
can.
cost for demo and all that
ARVs are
stuff.
real high there.
Demo's free.
Yeah, and
Right,
you're like, no, man.
Do they clean it up too?
210.
To some
4,
degree,
5,
yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
4,
But if all
4, 6.
you're paying is to have
No,
a
4,
donor come in
5,
and just
2,
pull some ashes or
4,
whatever.
6.
But I mean,
It's not as bad as
21046.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you know all these by heart.
I do.
And if
That's
it
the
has
problem.
mold,
Good,
it's
good.
That's amazing.
If you can get any and
Like I close
Yeah.
the
That's very
Yeah,
good.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
visualize
Wow,
that.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome to know.
But yeah, I don't. I mean,
Yeah, if you can crack like any of these,
It's an interesting deal.
like,
High.
Did you
Yeah.
seriously look
like,
at that potential?
those will
for
sell
yourself?
like that. The
no,
problem is,
just
volume.
might wanna make a
yeah.
little sense.
So like you're gonna get more in like
Yeah.
Baltimore County, in Roanoke County, Baltimore City.
So it's a higher quality. This is more
It
quantity.
sounds hot.
Yeah,
In
these are
Southeast, it sounds a
demand
little hot.
areas.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Well,
that's
maybe,
like
maybe.
Columbia.
It could work, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Alright.
mostly Columbia.
Yeah.
And then I'm just trying to think of
But
the.
again, I don't.
I'll have more for you.
Okay.
So right now,
Perfect. Just,
you know
shoot us an
DC
email.
decently well.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we do a
don't
lot
fight
of.
a lot of houses.
A lot of marketing.
But I
Yes.
mostly
Yeah,
northwest
so
and
don't-
southeast.
Exactly.
Um,
So right now we're hitting 2 areas very, very heavy. 2011, 2017, and 18.
okay.
So those are the northwest, northeast Brooklyn area. So we're gonna be pounding appointments in those areas very soon because that's where we got our highest ROI.
212.
deals. So because
Where
of
is that
those
gonna be? High
areas
demand?
geographically-
Okay, so there's one other thing that I wanted to go over, and it's the tasks. So, eventually you're going to have a lot of leads, and the way that you want to manage them, obviously everything doesn't always go like you want it to. Sometimes you don't get to the appointment until a month out, whatever the case may be. You want to have tasks for every single lead, unless it's a deal or a dead lead. All right, so you want to have tasks. So let's just say you haven't reached them yet. Oh, sorry. So you scroll to the bottom where it says tasks, add a task, say follow up to confirm. Yeah, we've used that for so long. Follow up to confirm appointment. Let's just say today at 5 p.m. Great. Now you have a task added to this item.
Does that set up to ping you automatically? Like, will that go to a calendar or something? Do you have to just log into Podio?
Yeah, so check this out. So when you log into Podio, you have all of your tasks under this task view. And this is how you want to really keep organization of your leads and of your of your tasks. So this will have overdue and what's this will have all of your tasks. So that's a good way to organize your leads and make sure that you're not forgetting anything or leaving anything on the table. Because you can lose a deal simply by being careless about follow-up.
I know about that.
Yep.
Go back to
So,
Monday.
Yeah.
and then lastly, if you go on the appointment and you don't get anything, right? Shame on you. I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, you're right.
That's gonna be we're gonna add a little emoticon in there. So nope. I'm just kidding. Then that's this one. No deal. I had to follow up. Cool.
Yeah. And if you go on the appointment and let's say whatever else happens, it's just a dead deal. If they sold the property, they own too much on the mortgage, tax lien, crazy brother, that whatever interest, dead lien. So that's it right there.
Yeah. And that's all.
Is there anything that you'd like us to qualify prior to going on the appointment that we're not already doing? Specifics.
Could you even do y'all ask the question about how much they want before you get there? Or do you...
Absolutely, always.
All right. I think I might have missed that in the role play because it was a very comprehensive role play. Yeah.
Oh, is it either or? We don't give them the price.
Oh, it depends.
No, we always ask them how much they want. We always do.
And so that will be
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you said that. That's how you determine whether. Okay.
Yeah, that will be right here. Again, when you scroll down and you go to seller and property info, all of that information will be here. They're asking price.
There's right.
Yep.
Let's see.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's gonna be a experiential type thing, and then obviously provide feedback.
Exactly.
What we're seeing, but
Sure.
I'm a learn by doing type of person. So
Exactly.
that's the best way to.
It's very similar to Boom. Have you ever used Boomtown? Anybody?
Yeah, I have used it
Yeah,
too.
my whole team had it. I just but I also use Airtable, and this is kind of like the way that the views and everything.
Okay.
It's gonna set up like that.
Good. Okay. And then lastly, sorry, I forgot to go over this. This is the SOP app, and this is kind of just explaining each step to your process. And it's kind of just a go-by, the standard operating procedures.
Like a manual.
So, for example, step number 1, call new lead. If seller picks up the phone, update, contact status to contacted. And then it just has everything that we just went over
And the scripts
in
I read
writing
too.
and in video.
Yep.
You have a business here.
Yeah.
You have all the everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
Is 5 Doors is it 5 Doors really provide you with a lot of this stuff? Helps you?
The time I was there, it wasn't to this extent. Like they were starting to build that stuff out, but we had like a Google Drive folder that had a bunch of scripts in it, but it wasn't. This is kind of like laid out.
Professional.
Right.
Very easy to read, easy to find kind of manner.
Exactly.
This
That's
is much sharper than what I was seeing. So.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we worked a lot to build this out. But
Okay, so we'll be creating your Podio logins, or really just sending you guys an email. You guys use Gmail?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so then we'll also do the syncing of the calendars, and then we'll be inviting you to this workspace.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a different email, like my actual Gmail, because if we're gonna be wholesaling, obviously that's gonna be part of it. I want it separate from because my broker's cool with it. It's just he doesn't want it associated with KW. So if I'm getting contracts and stuff, I'll give you my Gmail.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
Then send that via text, and I'll just update your information now. So I reset, so I don't accidentally send you stuff.
Okay.